Hey guys, Christina Ritchie. If you want more PARS, but you're struggling getting distance off the tee, let's examine popular culprits and give you some feels to help you correct those situations. You ready? Let's get to it. All right, I'm seeing this a lot with my campers. All right, I'm seeing this hand weak. All right, so this hand to me is the controller of the club face, the lead hand. So if this is weak, you're going to struggle with an open face unless you have a ton of forearm rotation. And a lot of players struggle with forearm rotation, so instead, go ahead and strengthen the lead hand. All right, so you see two knuckles. I want this line pointing to your back shoulder. All right, I really like this for the lead hand. The trail hand, I want more on top, so more of a neutral position. What I don't like is this. I really dislike this, because this creates a hold on, all right, where players keep the hand underneath and end up holding on. Because if they release, they're gonna close the face too much and the ball will hook. All right, so we want to be able to release without fear of hooking it. All right, so to me, this is the driver of the club face, but this also plays a role, because this plays a role in how you release your club, the trail hand, because most players, right-hander players, or your trail hand is your dominant hand. All right, so we want to be able to release with freedom. So this trail hand releases. I like to say shake hands. How do you do? All right, you don't want to over-release, and you certainly don't want to under-release, because the club face will be open. You're going to make these hands as one. I just see a little slop. I see a lot of separation with the hands, more with newer players, so get these hands as one. All right, and these two are pals. They like to hang out to try to keep them together. These two are pals. They like to hang out. I see this a ton, all right? I like to trigger this hand. All right, so this hand is separate. This is a loner. These three are pals. This one likes to be on its own. All right, so kind of trigger that, like that. All right, so that's the grip I like. Now, obviously, this is not the grip, the only grip. No, everyone is different. But generally speaking, give this grip a shot, because it works for a lot of players. That's why you got to work with a golf professional to find out what grip works for you, because it really depends on your wrist conditions and your release pattern and your ball flight. What's your desired ball flight? Another really important point when it comes to getting more distance off the tee and from the fairway is to make sure that you're actually activating your glutes and your core at setup. All right, so what we're going to do is a TPI assessment. You're going to go ahead and get shoulder width, and I'm going to show you from face on and side view. All right, so just getting your driver stance, feet square, and all you're going to do is drop down into a squat. All right, and turn to the side. She's essentially just sitting down. All right, where players go off with the squat is they initiate the squat with the knees. All right, when that happens, you're shutting off the glutes. All right, so they end up getting into their golf posture in that fashion. All right, they go like this instead of hip hinging. So we want to hip hinge. We want to send our bottom back and then down, much like a squat. All right, so that's very, very important point. If you want to get your glutes, which are the king, and your core, which is the queen of the golf swing, we got to activate them. The squat pattern, we got to send our bottom back. So there's a toilet seat back there. If this is new for you, there's a toilet seat back there, and it's a little far back, and you don't want to miss it. All right, what are you going to do? You're going to send your bottom back first, because you don't want to miss that toilet seat. All right, so you want to keep your knee inside your toe line. Ideally leg parallel. All right, you can go a little lower, but if this is new for you, you might just go to here. The key is, are you sending your bottom back first and then sitting? Or are you sending your knees first and sitting? All right, so that's a very, very important assessment. All right, good. Now sit. Excellent. Stand up. Good. Sit. Perfect. Sit. Perfect. That's awesome. Here, he's going to do this at home.
He doesn't have to have the shaft over his head. It's perfectly optional, but it's nice because the golf swing's overhead. He's going to have a seat.
All right, so if you're a knee diver where you initiate your golf posture with your knees, really practicing having a seat is going to be helpful. So Peter here is initiating with the knees. See how the knees go first? All right, so he needs to do this a lot. All right, so another popular reason why you may not be able to get the distance that you want off the tee is that your arms aren't behaving. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do an assessment, and it's pretty easy. All right, all you're going to do is get in your golf posture and go like that. All right, can you get your thumb back? Can you get your elbow pointing a little bit forward like this? Externally rotate the lead trail arm on the downswing. All right, so this is just, can you do this? That's the assessment. The other TPI assessment is get into your golf posture. Go ahead and extend your arm straight, create a 90 degree. Now just lift your forearm as much as possible. It should be in line or just past your ear. All right, so that creates good flexibility with your shoulder. All right, and then you do the same for this side. All right, so if you're here, you're going to be very limited. All right, especially here in the backswing. If you can only lift to here without doing this, because that's cheating. All right, you're limited in your range of motion with your shoulder in your socket. All right, so you might have a hard time. You might have a flying elbow here at the top. All right, so you should work with a golf professional for sure to help you resolve that and find a workaround. All right, what I suggest is pinching your arms together at setup. So go ahead and arms, and if you're a gal, place your arms over the girls. And if you're a guy, just place them right over so your arms are close together. We want these to work as a team. All right, and this is going to really help you. I want you to pinch your arms at setup, and as you take the club back, keep them pinched. All right, this is just a great way to minimize this, because unfortunately, players that have this tend to get steep because they come down like this. So if they're trying to elevate their shoulder to try to shallow the club. All right, so if you're limited here, you might be doing this. All right, so I like to use the pinching of the arms. That works really well. You can use Martin Chuck's Smart Ball. That works for a lot of players. Put a band around your arms. That works. But when you're out here on the course, pinch your arms together. Keep them pinched at the top. Boom. All right, and that's going to help you. And shorten your swing. You don't have to go crazy high, because if you go crazy high, guess what? Boom. Your elbow's flared. You're out of position. So shorten the swing. Just add more hinge. All right, that way you can keep your arms together, because you're a player that struggles with internally and externally rotating the shoulder. All right, if you're a player that when we do our squat, we're going to actually take our club, go wide, 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 shrug your shoulders up, and bring the club up. That's how I want you to bring it up. All right, and then from here, you're going to do your squats, sending your bottom back first. All right, ideally, we want our tibia in line with our spine and our arms in line with our ears. If you're a player that has your arms here, you're tight in your lats. All right, you can also do the wall test. All right, I'll put a link to that, where you just basically get on a wall. There's a wall back here, and you're going to do a little sit. All right, so there's an imaginary wall, and then you're going to lift your arms up as high as you can go without any sticking point. All right, and you're going to touch your hand to the wall. A lot of players can only get here, so they're really tight in their lats. And if you're tight in your lats, guess what? You're going to have a hard time elevating your arms. You might have a hard time firing on the downswing, because the lats and the obliques work as a team on the downswing. So it's really important to understand what your body can and cannot do. In my camps, I do TPI assessments so I can learn what my players can and cannot do. My players learn what their body can and cannot do. Because if I'm asking you to sit into your hip, and you physically can't because your hip is crazy tight, right? And you're swaying, but I'm asking you, sit in your hip, Susan, sit in your hip. It becomes a frustrating experience because I have no clue that your hip is tight. But in my camps, I do, because I do my TPI assessment. So it's really important to understand what you can do. You are the most important piece of equipment. This is important, yes. You got to get fitted, yes. But this is where the magic is. More PARS.